Tonight, the U.S. striking back against Houthi rebels in Yemen again, destroying an anti-ship ballistic missile launcher that the U.S. says was preparing to attack ships in the Red Sea.
We anticipated the Houthis would continue to try to hold this critical artery at risk, and we continue to reserve the right to take further action.
It comes after the Houthis hit a commercial ship with a missile today, according to the U.S. military. The Biden administration now redesignating the group as a foreign terrorist organization, according to 3 U.S. officials, the goal to cut off Houthi financing. Secretary of State Antony Blinken told CNBC's Andrew Ross Sorkin the threat is impacting commercial traffic.
15% of commercial traffic is going through that strait every single day. 30% of the world's container ships. We're seeing international repercussions for these attacks.
U.S. officials say Iran continues to supply Houthi rebels with weapons and intelligence, releasing photos of these Iranian missile parts headed to the rebels in Yemen. The weapons intercepted when the U.S. Navy spotted a suspicious boat in the Gulf of Aden and sent in a team of U.S. Navy SEALs. They confiscated the missile parts, but not before 2 U.S. Navy SEALs ended up in the rough waters. They are both still missing tonight. The tension with Iran also playing out on land. U.S. officials say Iran launched multiple ballistic missiles into northern Iraq overnight. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard claiming they targeted a spy base for Israel's intelligence agency Mossad in the region. U.S. officials not confirming that, saying U.S. military and diplomatic facilities were not impacted and that civilians, including children, were killed in the missile attack. Sparking protests in the streets in Erbil, the White House condemning the attacks as reckless and imprecise.
And Courtney, you've also learned some new details about the night Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin was hospitalized.
Yeah, Lester, we've now heard that 911 call from the night, and what's clear is Secretary Austin's hospitalization was intended to be kept quiet from the beginning. An aide asking the emergency dispatchers to turn off the ambulance sirens and remain subtle.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.